President of the American Museum of Natural History, Ellen Futter.
Good evening, everyone. Good evening. We are so happy to have all of you here. I'm the president of the museum, and it's my great pleasure to welcome you all. Could I have your attention? We have an important program for you tonight. We are honored that our mayor and first lady have once again chosen this museum for their event celebrating Black History Month. And I'm also pleased that so many of the museum's key partners and friends from city government are with us tonight, and we extend congratulations to tonight's honoree, Bronx native Tarana Burke, activist and founder of the Me Too movement. Please clap for Tarana. I particularly want to thank the mayor and his administration for their leadership, come on folks, in promoting diversity in New York City's agencies and institutions. We here at the museum are enormously committed to this effort and to advancing New York City school children in STEM achievement. And we are especially pleased to be available to New Yorkers everywhere. All of this is made possible by Mayor de Blasio and his administration. We are so happy, especially though, to have the First Lady of the City of New York as a supporter and friend. Charlene McRae must be the hardest working First Lady anywhere, fighting tirelessly for our most vulnerable neighbors. She is a powerful advocate for mental health reform, notably through her Thrive NYC initiative. She launched and leads NYC Unity Project, an unprecedented citywide effort to provide a wide range of services to LGBTQ youth. She is a powerful advocate for victims of domestic violence, immigration reform, youth employment, and gender equity. And she champions the arts and culture as essential. Put simply, she is a fighter who you want on your team. How lucky are we that she is on New York's. Ladies and gentlemen, the First Lady of the City of New York, Charlene McRae.
Whoa! Good morning. Oh, I mean, that's not a great beginning. Good evening. Thank you, Ellen, for welcoming us again to this magnificent space. But you are the magnificent ones. Yes, you are. I am so happy to see you. Happy Black History Month. I am so delighted to be here with all of you to honor the giants of the past who must not be rendered invisible. Giants like the Black suffragists who marched on Washington in 1913. All right. Did you know our sisters were told to march in the back separately from the white women? Did you know that? Well, they did, but that didn't stop Ida Wells Barnett. Ida B. Wells, our journalist, activist sister, she took her rightful place with her state's delegation and didn't miss a step. And 7 years later, Ida B. Wells and her sisters helped ratify the 19th Amendment while they're still fighting against Jim Crow. That's right, she did. All right. So many giants have been rendered invisible. So many giants have had to fight their way to be honored during this Black History Month. We shouldn't have to fight for it, right? No. Should we have to fight for this? No. All right, I got the answer. I got the answer for you. I'm going to break it down, because this is a problem. When our Black and brown children don't learn how much our people have contributed to the formation of our country, when they don't understand how people of African descent manage through tough times with their dignity intact, they are robbed of their pride, robbed of the reassurance of what's possible, and do not have an understanding of their potential. Do you get that? It's harder for them to understand why they should try. And as the Nigerian proverb reminds us, until the lions have their own historians, the history of the hunt will always glorify the hunter. Am I right? We cannot allow ourselves to be devalued. You know what that means, don't you? All of you standing here who are heroes with your own struggles, with your own tales of triumph, must share your stories and your family stories too, with your children, with the young people around you, and with each other. I want you to turn to the person next to you and say, I'm going to tell my story. Look at the person next to you, look at them in the eyes and say it again. I'm going to tell my story. I'm going to tell my story. Because we can't wait for other people to tell our tales. That has not worked out for us. Has it? Tonight, I am proud to take part in honoring a modern-day lion, a lion who has already left an indelible mark on our world. Her name is Tarana Burke. In 2006, long before it was a hashtag, she was saying, "Me too," on MySpace. How many of you remember MySpace? That's right. In 2006, she was saying, "Me too." Shh. Shh. And Tarana was laying the groundwork and building a movement to help survivors of sexual violence and abuse find pathways to safety and healing. What she took on was painful and difficult, but she didn't let that stop her. She knew it was important for survivors to speak their truth so others could speak theirs, and they could move forward with their lives. As we honor her and all those who came before us, I ask you to continue sharing the struggles and the pain and the glory. And there is a special opportunity to promote the wellness of our communities coming up that I hope you will participate in. Our fourth annual Weekend of Faith on Mental Health will take place from May 16th to 19th. Can you say that with me? May 16th to 19th. May 16th to 19th. We are partnered with the Divine Nine, historic Black organizations, and faith communities all across the cities, and all of you can be involved. Our Thrive team is here tonight in the back with pledge cards that look like this, so you can sign up on the table on the way out. Will you help us thrive together? Will you participate in the Weekend of Faith on Mental Health? I don't hear you. I'm not going to leave until you say yes really loud. All right, that means you must want me to go. All right, I hope to see you in May, and I thank you. It is now my pleasure to introduce a man who has made New York City the safest city in the country while bringing us pre-K for all, neighborhood policing, and of course our Grand Ferry system. Please welcome my husband, my partner, Mayor Bill de Blasio.
Good evening, everybody. Good evening, everybody. There we go, there we go. First of all, we gather here, we celebrate an entire community that has done so much for this city, for this nation. It's a time of celebration, it's a time of reflection. Let's start by reflecting on one individual who I look up to every day, And I admire every day, and I appreciate every day, because she is helping this city to be better, and she's helping to take away stigma, and she's helping to open minds and get people the help they need. Let's thank our First Lady, Shirlane McCray. And let's acknowledge and appreciate something about the greatest city in the world. First, are we the greatest city in the world? Okay. There are more than 2 million people of African descent in the greatest city in the world. About 1 in 4 New Yorkers is a person of African descent, and if you believe we're the greatest city in the world, say thank you to the African American community and the Caribbean community and immigrants from Africa. Say thank you to the people who made us great. Because Black History Month is a time of celebration and appreciation, but it's also a misnomer, because Black history is American history and American history is Black history. So let's do something. Let's take back the language a little bit here. Let's take back the notion that we are celebrating the history of everyday people. There are famous names that we all admire for sure. There are great people who end up on postage stamps and in museums, but let's celebrate everyday people that have made this city what it is. Let's celebrate the small business owner. Let's celebrate the artist. Let's celebrate the teacher. Let's celebrate the public servant. I want to celebrate some public servants who are here with us. Please give a warm round of applause to our Deputy Mayor, Phil Thompson. While you're at it, just give a collective round of applause to all the members of this administration who are here, who serve this city all the time. Thank you to all the commissioners. Everyone's here. Somewhere out there is one of the greatest New Yorkers. Former Mayor David Dinkins is with us. He's over there. Right in the middle. There he is. Gave Shirlane and I our jobs when we were young, so we feel a special appreciation for all he taught us and how he helped us on our way. And one particular elected official I want to single out is here. Thank you, Council Member Carlina Rivera. She is here with us. And of course, a special thank you to everyone at the Museum of Natural History. Ellen Futter, thank you, and the whole team here. Now, can we have one serious moment? Can you come here with me for a serious moment? Okay. Something has changed in how we are talking about our history, and it's happened the last 2 years, and it's powerful, because we are finally hearing all over this country a conversation about structural racism. Institutional racism. It's out in the open. It is no longer being denied. We are also having a conversation we needed to have for a long time about economic inequality and how much it tears at the soul of a nation to have a 1% who have everything and everybody else who has so much less. But here's what matters, everyone. These two ideas go together, and we have to be clear about it. Economic inequality is directly related to structural racism. Structural racism is directly related to economic inequality. We need to tear them both down. And even though it's finally being talked about, it's not a new idea. In his last days on this earth, Dr. King was talking about economic justice just as much as he was talking about civil rights. But that conversation was repressed. It was not allowed. Even in the celebrations you see of Dr. King in so much of this country, they leave out the part about economic justice. But we can't afford to leave it out, can we? People are suffering from economic injustice. We have to do something about it. And by the way, it is a turbulent time, it is a difficult time, but it is also a blessed time, because change is in the air. in this city, in this nation. Change is in the air. And we're here at a powerful moment. Another thing, if you look at your history, Dr. King's last speech in Memphis, it's beautiful, it's powerful. He talks about if he could live at any time in history, when he would live. Talks about all the great eras, all the great epochs of history, and he says, you know when I would want to live? For him, it was right there in that year, 1968. Well, we should all feel that of all the times in history, we want to live now, because now so many truths are coming forward and we are finally breaking down the lies and the things that kept us from all that we believed and all we hoped for. We have seen people growing their consciousness, waking up, standing up, rising up, the women's marches, the biggest demonstrations in United States history, women rising up and speaking up like never before. Change is in the air, and we all have to be a part of it. And I'm about to introduce the most wonderful honoree, someone who has changed this society to its core by her bravery and her actions. But I want to remind you, the movement that she started was not about her. It was not about a single leader. Of all the movements in history, this one said so clearly that we only change if we all change together, if we all stand up together, if we all refuse injustice together. This is why this moment is so powerful, because it's about all of us. It's not just the famous names, it's about all of us. So we celebrate history, but we should be making some history, shouldn't we? We should be making some history, and here's someone who did. She is a native New Yorker. Now, that's a pretty good beginning, don't you think? A longtime social activist, she believed that the voices of women and people of color were going unheard. She believed it was time for people to be able to tell their stories without any shame, with power, with purpose to the whole world. She believed that no one should be repressed and mistreated and have to stay silent. She believed in a simple idea that when each person speaks up, the next one can speak up, and the next one, and the next one, and that's why she called it the Me Too movement. Ladies and gentlemen, our own Tarana Burke. Yes, you can do that right there. Before we hear from Tarana, the First Lady will present her with a proclamation. Now, I want you to know what Tarana has done is historic. It has changed this country to the core. It is changing this world. She is already acclaimed for what she has done, but there's been one thing that she has not yet received, one award that she has not yet received. She has not yet had a day named after her. Until today. So this proclamation talks about her life and her achievements, but the last line I think you will find particularly powerful. And it says, it's my honor as the mayor of New York City to proclaim today, February 19th, 2019, in the city of New York as Tarana Burke Day. Tarana, we honor you, and I say happy birthday to you. Ladies and gentlemen, Tarana Burke.
Thank you. No. Wait. My mother's back there. I don't think she would take kindly to that. Oh, there she is. Hi, Mommy. The funny thing about it is today's actually my little brother's birthday. So I can't wait to tell him.
Speak up a little.
I can't wait to tell my little brother that today is actually not his day. It's my day. This is deeply, deeply humbling. I'm really honored, and I mean I'm honored in in a sincere way. I am a native New Yorker. A lot of people are transplants. I am born and raised in the Bronx. Yeah. BX. That's right. Some people call me a Bronx nationalist. I do. I believe in the Bronx. I mean, from Cardi B to Alexandria, we doing big things, all right? I just want to say thank you. This is an overwhelming show of support. People say you can't come home, but obviously you can. And so I'm glad to be honored by my city. This work actually started here because this is where I was assaulted. This is where the things that happened to me started. I started doing the work in Alabama, but my heart is always in New York. And I'm so glad to be able to share this work with the city and with the world. This will always be the epicenter, the place where I come back to, the place where I start. Now I live in Harlem, so I have Harlem on my side too. It's always uptown. What began as a grassroots movement is now worldwide, and that's not a mistake. We are in a unique historical moment, and the only thing that I can ask you is it's really wonderful to be celebrated, but it's not enough to celebrate me if you're not going to stand up for what I believe in. It's not about having days named after me. It's not about trophies or celebrations. It's about the fact that 60% of girls and boys who look just like you and me are experiencing sexual violence right now. It's about the fact that our neighborhoods, our communities, our churches, our schools, our institutions are effectively not safe for us to live and work and worship and dwell in. And we all play a role in that. We all play a role in making our communities less vulnerable to sexual violence. So let's celebrate this day, but let's celebrate it as a day that we make a commitment to ending sexual violence. So I'm just gonna say that, say thank you so, so much. It's so wonderful to see all of these faces, especially all of these black faces. Some of the other ones mixed in there. Happy Black History Month. We had it rough this month, but this is like taking a turnaround, right? Anyway, thank you so much. I deeply, deeply appreciate it. Thank you.
Stay here 1 second. Okay, everyone, are we proud as New Yorkers? Are we proud of Tarana Burke? One more time, are we proud of what she has achieved? Okay, now you can give her that special salute. So for those of you from the Bronx, you know, but non-Bronxites, come on, learn how to do this for her. Okay? Bronx people go crazy over that, okay? I'm just telling you. If you just want to win their hearts, just pull that out. So, everybody, I want to thank you for being here. But I want us to go forth tonight filled with energy, filled with love, filled with passion, but also knowing that one of our own has shown us the way forward and shown us that anything is possible. Change can happen, but we together have to make it happen. Thank you, Tarana. God bless you all.